Hi, Tom Vizzini here, persuasioncoach.com. I wrote an article this morning and I liked it so much, I want to do a video. So that's what we're going to do. And it's based upon one simple premise that it's going to be a little hard for some of you to take. And that premise is that 90% of everything you've ever learned about selling is complete and utter bullshit. Okay? Yes, bullshit. I said it. All right? And the reason is that people buy into it, especially, you know, if you're in sales and you're not doing well, if you're looking for the next answer, if you're not getting to the next level, if you've dead-ended. Because what you're getting sold, okay, because salesmen are the easiest sell, by the way, what you're getting sold is just like magic pill stuff, okay? You're being sold the idea that there is a one-size-fit-all magic pill that will actually completely transform your business out of where it is and into where you want to go. Okay, now that's absolutely and utterly impossible. But you know, hey, it doesn't matter, because if you're desperate, if you don't think you have the skill, and if you've dead-ended, you know, anything sounds better than where you are. And a lot of you people are risking good money after bad. Okay, just to hope to grab onto one good idea that you'll be able to use in the real world. Real world being the key there, by the way. So let me get through some of these things, because, you know, I've had clients with boxes and closets and shelves full of all of these materials that they've been sold. They were supposed to give them magic powers, hypnotic influence, you know, dark secrets of persuasion, and there aren't any. Okay, there's common sense and things that you need to do. There is a strategy, there is a structure, but none of the things you've been sold actually work really well. All right, I mean, 10% of it you learned was good. The rest of it pretty much crap. All right, so let me go through a couple of these things. Okay, get a great script and a great presentation. Sounds so feasible, sounds so believable. You know, I know a guy, and he's actually a friend of mine. And he writes these scripts, these presentations, these sales presentations, and he does, you know, tons of hypnotic languaging and neuro-linguistic program, twisty, skilly gymnastics, and all this kind of stuff, okay? And, you know, if it gets an effect or not, I'm not really seeing it, but the reality is this. There's no one presentation that meets the needs of every single person that you're talking to. Okay, there's no script that will help, and the problem with those things is that you disconnect from the person you're talking to. If you're using a script, you're completely disconnecting. You're not talking to them anymore. Okay, you're making a speech. Okay, nobody wants to hear a speech, especially this time of year. You know, nobody wants to hear a speech. All right, so you know, it's not going to create a connection, and frankly, scripts are irritating. You know, and I know some people who've spent tons of money traveling all over the United States and the world and other places because they were convinced that that person that they're going to had the script, had the magic sentences that were going to come out of their mouth to get them the job, the interview, the promotion, the sale, the date, you know, or the social status. But it'll all be in this magic phrase or magic word that someone would say, okay? The second thing that really irritates me, okay, get rapport, get rapport, get rapport. Yes, I think rapport is really, really important, okay? Probably one of the most important skills you have, other than people are teaching that getting rapport is about making people like you, okay? It's not about making people like you. It is about being the answer to their problem, okay? If you get people to like you, they just really start getting very comfortable saying no. All right, listen to that again. Very comfortable saying no. All right, it's like, you're my buddy, you understand, but I can't do it today, and I get that, and you know, excuse. All right, so you know, it's not that they like you. You know, people say, oh, you know, talk about their kids, talk about their dog, talk about this, talk about that. You know, it can make them a sense of familiarity. But it doesn't get rapport. You need to be in the position of the person they need, not some kind of airy-fairy similar projection of them. Because honestly, they already have them. They don't need another them. And it's the other thing that comes with rapport is that you know, they need you to be the answer to the problem. They don't need you to be the same confused guy sitting in front of them that they are. All right? So rapport, the way you've been taught, is complete crap. 3, one way to irritate and chase away clients is to act like you know more than they do. in the fact that you think you have to educate them. Anytime they have a question and you shift to being a teacher, you're really shifting to being a jerk. Nobody likes to talk to jerks. All right? You know, it's like when someone comes up with an objection of some sort, and you'll find the salesperson saying things like, you know, oh no, let me explain why we do X. All right, and basically saying, you know, I'm sorry that you're so stupid that you don't understand my presentation and you don't understand what I'm saying to you. Okay, you don't understand. You know, you poor little human being, you poor little person who I want to write me a check. You know, if you weren't so stupid, you'd understand the brilliance of my position. Okay, no, you don't need to educate them. You need to inform them, and that's a completely different thing. All right? I hear this time and time again. Number 4 just drives me out of my mind. Always be closing, okay? Which basically means always be irritating. You know, I like sales. I think persuasion is great. I think, you know, all these kinds of influence tools that you can get, I think they're all great, okay? The problem is this. If somebody's constantly trying to pressure me to close, it makes me very, very suspicious. Now, you can do it. Look, you can drag your big old sales club and knock someone over the head, drag them back to your cave, and make them sign something. But the reality of the situation is this. They're never going to do business again. You think you're getting a referral? You think they might not mind feeling a little bit foolish for what you did. They're certainly not going to tell their friends about it. And it's the life's blood of every salesperson are referrals, 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 referrals. And if you're not getting referrals, well, it's basically because you're a jerk, okay? You got to stop being a jerk, and it'll really help, okay? They won't buy from you twice. You'll never get referrals. The 5th thing that drives me out of my mind is that for some reason, you go back to magic words, this stack of objection answers, all right? I hear it over and over and over. They give you this objection, you give them this answer. You know, if you were in real estate and they say, you know, well, what price should you give? Or I think that price is too high. And you say, well, this is what it's going for in the market. And, you know, then you start informing them that this is what everything's going for. You know, no. It's not the problem. The automated response that you have is treating people like they're stupid. Okay, I love the one, and I find this all the time, especially, you know, in what is normally a high-pressure sales situation, which I absolutely hate, by the way, but I love getting them coming to the door because I ruin their days. I need to talk to my spouse. You heard time and time again, you know, and look, let me tell you, I don't know how many of you guys are in relationships, but if you're not making financial decisions together, you're not making financial decisions, and there's a reason the spouse ain't there. All right, and what I get is these classic answers that you're supposed to say. I say, well, you know, and they range from this. Here's the ones that from okay to mildly, you know, I'd punch you in the nose. Well, get her on the phone. I'll talk to her and I'll kind of explain it to her, and you know, I'll step in and tell her why you find this such a great idea. It's all the way to, do you mean you can't even make a decision without your wife's approval? Okay, intimidating. Really? The reality is what you're doing is you're trying to force people into a funnel. You're like herding cats into a little itty-bitty funnel. And if you think that's a comfortable thing to experience, drop by sometime. I'll do it to you. See how it works. All right? Not very good. Now, the worst part about this BS is that it actually gives the salesperson an artificial feeling of intelligence, an artificial feeling of skill. So when they go in and it doesn't work or backfires, or they're the kind of person who's making $100 a day because they're not getting any referrals, they can't figure out why their business isn't going the way it's going. Let me tell you something, okay? This is the cold, hard fact you've got to understand. And I know I've got lots of friends who teach sales and influence in the business. They're going to absolutely go inside out when I say this. 80% to 90% of the buying decision that someone's going to make is emotional. I'm sorry, get over it. All right, there's no magic. It's emotional. Why is this? Look, and this is not, look, I'm not making this up. This is like pie in the sky crap, all right? What I'm saying is this. I mean, back in the 90s, a neuroscientist named, let me get his name right, okay? Antonio Damasio conducted research, okay? And the interesting part of this research was this, okay? In patients that were cut off from the emotional part of their brain, they lost the ability to actually make decisions as simple as what to eat for lunch. Think about it. All right, if you cut off the emotion, you don't get any action. You don't get any decision. You don't get any movement. And, we talk about this all the time in a lot of the things we do. The primal part of the brain, the part of the brain that has the primal emotions that drive people to do things, and there's 5 of them, okay? But these primal emotions are key in any part of the persuasion process. If you do not engage any of these primal emotions, and you don't have to get all of them, but you get a couple of them, the more you get fired, the more likely you're going to get what you want, okay? The more the person moves. These are movement initiators. The less you engage, or the more you engage the logical part of the brain with reasons, statistics, why your product's so great, the 44.5, 7.5, whatever the hell that it'll accomplish in saving time and money and labor and all of this crap, it doesn't mean anything, okay? Here's the reason. Statistics, logic, emotions are the things that people use to justify the emotional decision they've already made. Let me say that again, because it's just real important. All the emotions, all your statistics, all of your facts, all the parts of your presentation that you think are actually important are only the way that somebody's going to justify the decision they've already emotionally made. The trick for you is, and here is the big one, how do you get them to make that emotional decision? Well, there's kind of a way of doing it, all right? There are ways to instantaneous, elicit responses in people to get them to have an emotional spike, like happiness, greed, need, desire, any kind of number of good feelings that you can take and attach to your product presentation, interview, asking for a raise, asking for a date kind of feeling, okay? This applies to all kinds of things, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go through it. Managing people, you're a manager, you need it. Interviewing job, you need it. Getting a raise, you need it. Raising your kids, if you don't think you got to move them through emotion, you think you're going to reason with a 5-year-old, you got issues. I'm just saying, okay? There's only one way to instantaneously do this in the real world on a predictable basis that gets you the results that you want. That one way is to learn how to anchor emotions and set them in a place that you can trigger that emotion later when you do things like ask for the sale, the date, your kid not to do that anymore, all that kind of stuff, all right? Now, let me tell you something. We've got a couple of times to move. And if you want to go to the website, persuasioncodes.com, the full article is there. I'm just kind of giving you an idea of what's in it because I think it's so important that you understand, and I think it's so important that you check out these kinds of skills. All right? Even if for some reason, which I can't actually understand, you don't learn them for us. Go learn them from someone. Make sure they're at least as good as us because, well, you basically can't because there isn't anybody as good as us. And I know how arrogant that sounds, but it's just true, okay? Look, let me tell you something. By the way, just to let you know, that the clients of ours who have had the books and shelves and closets and things of videotapes, DVDs, special reports. I love that special report thing because that's just not junk, isn't it? All this stuff. They basically boxed them all up after they learned these skills. They boxed them all up and threw them away. You know why? Because they didn't need that. It was totally misrepresented as all kinds of linguistic gymnastics and all kinds of things they didn't need to get somebody to have the emotional response to take the action you want in the real world you can happen in less than 60 seconds. I'm going to give you one example before I go. Our client Scott went to go ask for a grant to do educational stuff from the state of California, and in less than 60 seconds, using one anchor that was a flash anchor that, by the way, nobody else teaches, so good luck with that, he was able to secure a $540,000 sale for his company. $540,000 in 60 seconds or less. Meanwhile, everybody else who was there trying to present their case to keep funding, well, they all got theirs reduced. Only Scott was able to get his up. Now, and keep in mind, Scott's really good at sales, but in this case, he used an anchor. It's what worked. It's what nailed it. Okay? This is the power of emotion when you're talking about moving people in a persuasive situation where you want to have any influence whatsoever. Anyway, that's enough for me. I'm going to tell you something. Tom Bazzini, you can check out persuasioncodes.com. have some fun or join our group on Facebook. Appreciate your time. This is great. Have a blast. I'm telling you, learn to anchor. Get the stuff you want in life. Talk to you soon.